our 2 bucket bags. The 2 of them are a solid color. One that color matching one. The production and sewing method is the same. And then I'm going to give you a little rundown. This sewing on our webbing. If we buy this webbing model, what about our long shoulder straps? It's our wider one. A webbing suitable for our autumn and winter. If we bought this silk scarf model, it's our silk scarf. Then it is the PU we match. A copper one. A sewn shoulder strap. So let me tell you about us. How to sew this little tip on this webbing. This is already sewn. Are we disconnected? Break us a piece of thread as long as our webbing. Just take out our little rubber band. Then fold it in half. Fold it in half. We insert the needle from the bottom hole. Then the upper and lower lines are evenly distributed and aligned. It's still a way for us to alternate the upper and lower lines. Then sew to the second hole. We're going to put in our little piece of webbing. Be sure to straighten it. Use a little force when pulling the wire. The density of this webbing is relatively high. We can easily pass this thread through. Let's all put our little segment. Sew all the way here. Then sew back 3 stitches. Put him all the lines on the back side. On the back side is our webbing. This side without words. Then break the line and give him the dotted line. Here is a sewn one. It's sewn like this. It is also very simple to hang on the back. That's how it goes. This is more casual. That's it. This is all the materials we use in this bag. This is the front and rear of our bag. This is one of our inner and outer bottoms. There is also a silk scarf we gave away. One inside pocket with us. Then these are a few small pieces used in our bag. Well, there are 4 small ingredients in total. And 2 small semicircles. Hardware. This is one of the fillers in our laptop. This is one of our portable devices. Here we go. Let me tell you about the whole process of making our bag. We're going to start with these 2 ingredients. And our 2 hardware. Then we put it first. What about our small part first? Fixed to our big material. So as not to leave one of us behind. We sew this little bit. Measure us 1 height of it. Measure 1 or 2, it's 3 times longer each. Don't look at him so little. And let me tell you a little bit about the way we do it. We take one end of our thread through our pintail. Then there is a line with us that crosses our line. The same height as our needle. Then we pinch the thread and pull the needle down. Because we are flat wax thread, it has a certain width. Thread it like this to form a knot like this. We pull down our shorter side. After pulling it down, we pull the longest main line. So what about our needle? It's fixed to our line. Okay, our sewing method uses our 2 needles. So we have a thread. We have a thread. Each thread has to go through a needle. Well, the way of threading the needle is the same. And then we sew each one. It's all the same way. Look at me, I'm threaded with this needle. And we are going to put this through. Sew to this position like this. Wait, because now we are going to sew it with 3 layers. Let's do the same for the 2 first. Through 2 holes. Then align the hole in his corresponding position on our material. Then go through both needles at the same time. Pull our 2 needles at the same time on the other side. How about our line? He's going through both holes at once. We put the needle. His 2 wires are the same length. We use the outermost. It's the needle in this thread on this side. Through this hole on our side. And we move on. It's just an up and down sequence. It's done. Alignment hole. When we sew. When we go up and down to pull our line. Make sure to give him a little force. We can't make this thread particularly loose. Alright, we get to our first stitch. We back sew it. Let's not disconnect at this time. Let's sew it back first. We don't need to back sew him the whole thing. Just give him 3 stitches back. Then we put all the needles and threads on the same side. Just put it on the inside of us. Take out the scissors we prepared ourselves. What about when we cut the thread? Keep a little bit like this, a little bit of thread. Don't cut against the root. And we put out one of our own lighters. Burn it. Quick press. Okay. The other side is also sewn in the same way. Let's all sew it ourselves. And I'm not going to show you that, because they both sew the same way. After we finish sewing these 2, we take out our portable. This handheld and this handheld stuffing wrapping material. Then we sew our handheld. So handheld where from on. You can take a look at this location. They have 2 corresponding macropores. We just sew from this big hole to this side. The position of this large hole is used to measure. Use the line below. It's our hole portable. 1 3 times the length. Okay, 3. After we put on the needle and thread. When we sew. This parcel material, it might be as long as our laptop. It might take longer than him. When we sew. A line on each side. We start from this crooked place. 12nd third hole. Count 123 from the hole in the center. Let's align this wrapping material with the 3rd hole. Then pinch from this position. Hold the 2 needles of the upper and lower thread together and stretch them in your hand. Make it the same length. Watch me on this side. The thread on my side, the needle is in my hand. Then I went round and put it in for him from the other side. Below. Now it's the line on this side below me in my hand. Go round to our upper side and pull it. Pull hard on and off the line at the same time. Then we continue to sew down. This is very simple. That is, we can sew the upper and lower threads alternately. The upper and lower lines are in a hole. After completing the alternation, we need to tighten the upper and lower lines. I won't show you this. We can also sew it up by ourselves. It's incredibly simple. We sew to the position of this big hole on our side. It's where there is no hole in the front. Shall we give it back to him or wear it right? Everybody take a look. Form such a knot. This is a thread. Thread it through the needle of the thread from above. Then the needle of the upper thread is put on from the bottom. Then tighten. 3 more stitches. Then we put the lines on the same side. When disconnected, still don't break at the root of our line. After we sew which part, don't break the line at the root of our line. It's all from giving him. Leave a little thread. Then burn him with our lighter. Flatten rapidly. Okay, and then we get extra here. We don't have to cut anymore. What about us? The extra one. Let's get a pair of big scissors. Alignment or from the third hole of 1, 2, 3. Align the position of the third hole and cut it off. If it feels too loose here, we can also cut it off. Please be careful not to cut this material. Okay, we're done with this portable. Next, let's put our 2 main ingredients first. Splice him together. When these 2 main materials are spliced together, pay attention. Like us, he has a rectangle. This one is oil edged on 3 sides. And this one has only one side with oil edge. We can look at this comparison. Here it is. Just see that there is a white seam in the middle. It seems that he has no oil edge. This is the oil edge. We're going to use the oil edge. Hold down, we don't have this material with oil edge. Then sew this section. One of his threads. It's 3 times as tall as ours. When we sew this, so down here we see 2 rows of holes. Then we go from here. This is our top. Now, there are 2 rows of holes on it. We're going to sew down here. Okay. Here are the 3 large holes. There are also 3 large holes below. Align the second hole in the middle of each of them. Start sewing. Or go through both holes at the same time. Pull the upper and lower lines together. Then the upper and lower lines are complete. Continue to sew up. What about this part we sewed? After sewing, it is one front side of our whole bag. Sew. When we sew, be sure to have one needle and the next needle. Pull our line evenly. This is the seam where we go from one stitch to the next. Sew to our position. Then just sew it back for him. And I'm not going to show you that. This passage is really simple. What about after we sew this position? We're going to put our reinforced inner and outer sews. Sew him up. We disconnect the line. We disconnect our long one first. It starts to break from this middle seam we sewed. Break it 3.5 times longer. 1, 3. There's a big hole. You can see it clearly. Because this circle, if we just cut a circle of the line. If you sew this circle, his line is too long. And now we are going to sew 3 layers, inside and outside together, plus our main ingredient. It's very easy to mess up our line. We can see, this position has a clear, large hole. And then I'll tell you about it. Our insole. You can also see that it has these large clear holes. When I hold this hand up, and we can see here that there's 1. And what about this position? It's 3. This position here corresponds to 3. Here is 1. We're going to let our insole and outsole. The same is the position of the 3 holes. Align. It's aimed at our position. We're going to sew from this edge. That is to say, we're going to match our inner bottom and outer bottom. The location of a large hole. Sew it here. Compared to our entire back, it will feel a little complicated if we sew this bottom, because it is a circle. And it is still 3 layers inside and outside. We sew together. I'll tell you again. Maybe everyone has friends. It's just a handmade bag like ours that has been sewn. And then all they have is a thread. First, this is what we need for this thread. These holes, run a thread for him to finish. But when I sew this bottom, be careful not to sew like this. Because when circle and straight are together, there must be a throw. Throwing a position means that the hole in our circle, its hole spacing is all the same. To ours is this square. Its hole spacing, some places will be a little longer than our circle. If you run on a single line, it is very easy to drive our hole wrong. We'll think the hole is wrong. In fact, our hole number is the same. Just because I have to rush to catch this circle. It spans 1 by 1. So it's some position of the hole spacing. It is different from the hole spacing of this circle. Now we are the outsole. The position of a hole in the middle of the outsole, and our on back front side. Here lines 1 hole by 1. Then there is the inner bottom, which is also the location of a hole. After we go through, divide it evenly between the upper and lower lines. Then we go through the second hole. At first, it didn't have this. It's just that our 3 materials haven't been matched yet. It will be more troublesome. We just need to be patient and align the first few. Then we sew the back hole by hole. There is nothing complicated about the whole back. It's just that when we sew this bottom, everyone needs some patience. After the first few stitches are sewn, we can sew at the back. We always look from the inside out. Our hole. Okay, everybody, this way. We continue to sew on our side. We're going to go forward now after a few stitches. You see when we put it down, it will dent in here. It proves that it is bending out of this corner little by little. First of all, our whole bag is a cylindrical shape. So when we sew, we don't want everyone to take a look. Now my position is these 2 holes. The 2 of them are actually sewn in the same thread. but the two of them are no longer right. Now, we merely let him bend in to give us this circle, because our bag is sawn out as a barrel. We don't want. Let's not rely on this feature film. We're going to lean on our circle and say. So we bend it a little bit. Pull our line. It doesn't have a particularly good way. It's like we're flipping through a book. Find it page by page like this, to our hole. It's actually pretty simple. It's just always flipping round. It may feel a little troublesome, but the whole bag is sawn out. Its shape, mainly according to our bottom circle. Tighten our thread up and down. Every wire, every hole. So we do a line that goes up and down. We must tighten our line. You can see the rectangular one inside. What about this material? It's already wrinkled. So the spacing of its holes than ours on the circle. The spacing of the holes should be larger. So when we sew, it must be a hole, a hole. After the upper and lower lines are alternated, so the next hole. We all continue to follow this bottom circle. Then continue to sew this way. When we sew to this position, the 3 large holes in our outsole, and our main material has 3 large holes, and these 3 large holes in our insole, if it's all aligned, then we must have no problem with this half circle. Although we are now looking at our outsole and our main ingredient, the distance between these 2 large holes is relatively large. But as long as our holes are pierced correctly, there is absolutely no problem with the hole. Can everyone see it? If we look inside now, his shape has come out. So no matter what deviation his hole is facing, as long as we are aligned with the previous hole and the next hole, our hole number is the same. There is absolutely no problem sewing it out. We go ahead and sew our thread. When we sew, whether we sew it or not, when corresponding to this single large hole, if we feel that our line is not enough, we'll give him 3 stitches back and re-disconnect the thread. Let's disconnect again. We're going to break our tow. One is 11 to 11 times longer. We need to break the wire longer at this time, because when we sew to the end, our bag has become a barrel shape. So our line is longer to facilitate our sewing. This is how we measure our position. After one of this bag is sewn, one of its heights is 11 times longer. You can also measure this position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. I have already advanced this line. We are on either side of our seam, preferably on this side of our disconnection. We go ahead and put our needle in it. And from here we are going to sew backwards. After we all disconnect, just continue to sew back. We pay attention when sewing. We also have a relatively large hole at this location from our thick material. It can also be seen from the main body of our package. The holes on both sides are smaller. This hole is relatively large, and then the bottom is also, the inner and outer bottoms are also. If this hole is also aligned, it proves that what we sewed before is completely correct. Then we continue to sew backwards. When we sew to our position, everyone must pay attention to these two when the materials are to be put together. That's when his big hole is going to be put together. What should we pay attention to? It's this material when the two of them match. We should pay attention. The oil edge material should cover our non-oil edge material. Then we continue to put the rest of our lap. Sew the rest of the circle on the bottom. Basically, the rest of the whole bag is easy to sew. Everybody pay attention. So we're at the junction. After reaching this connection point, let's put the outer two layers in first. I have no edge here. This side of the oil will give him a third layer. Make these large holes all align. Then wear it inside. Let's pull these 3 wires over first. Wear my inner side alone. Okay, so hold it in place. Then we pass it the other side of the line. As long as we don't wear bead lines, not yet. Put this first big hole. The first big hole at our intersection. We're all through his thread. Then we go up and down the line to tighten it for him. At this time, we will go up and down the line to tighten it for him. After we sew this intersection, and then we go on and we finish this half. In fact, the whole bottom has already come out. Just a little bit more. Please be patient. This will be sewn in no time. We're sewing to the end. This location is easy. It just feels like a fold. Actually, no, we sew it all up. Stroke here. Just like our other locations. Let's take a look. I'm not finished sewing now. Stroked him. He doesn't have that wrinkle. Because he was the one who threw the position, it hasn't been fixed by our line yet. And then we give him 3 more stitches. After that, let's stroke it like this. After we sew the bottom, we're going to attach this part to him. So this part, our wires are 3 times as long as his. 2 or 3, let's break a little more. We sew from the bottom up. When we sew from the bottom up, we're going to bring our upsew down. Peel it like this, then find this hole that aligns with our vertical line. Get him through. The upper and lower lines are evenly distributed and straightened. Then go in from the second hole. Everybody pay attention. Our hands. Oh, it's still a way of alternating the upper and lower lines. Let's finish this vertical seam. Sew to this position. Just sew to the top and back with 3 stitches. Well, it's actually the same as our sewing side. We can all operate it ourselves. What about after we sew both sides? Let's finish sewing the circle above us. One of its wire quantities in the upper circle is us who's round our bag. Finish sewing the barrel shape of this bag. Just circle it 3 times. Where we start the needle. You can start the needle at our location. Then we stitch and sew back. When you arrive at this position, our material. When we sew. Let's recreate the place where we started the needle. Just covered up. And we needle him from here. Because when we are going to sew here, we need to sew it back at the end. This is what we intersperse up and down. Our needle. This is very simple. We can also this circle by ourselves. And I am going to do this needle by needle. After we sew this circle of thread, we sew this little piece on. This is an effect I finished sewing. And let's take a look. Here is this hardware. We're going inside. Then sew this part. One of our lines. It's our whole bag. One twice as long as this height. Let's adjust our hole position or the alignment of the two holes and the two holes is folded. Use the one on our edge. Needle and then we go through the second hole. We are now on the third floor in this position. Not good, right? We just need to do it layer by layer. Up and down line tension. And we all sewed this little piece ourselves. When it comes to the last stitch, remember to give it 3 stitches back. After we sew these 2 small pieces, we're going to sew our last hand on. Before sewing, we put this small piece go through our semicircle first. This will expose our hole. Then we sew. When he sews this half, one of his threads, it is also our barrel body. One of his heights is twice as long. Can you break the line a little more? After we put on the needle and thread, see this big hole on our side. Align this big hole in our material. We are in the process of sewing. Don't stick this filler on us. Still align the 2 holes. This is also very simple. It is also alternating the upper and lower needles. And then you sew this little circle. After sewing, we must remember to sew it back for him. And then after we sew this side, sew our other side. To sew it on him along our hand like this. Don't twist it. Our bag won't work if it's screwed on. Okay, let's also these 2 sections ourselves. The whole bag is sewn. After we sew the whole bag, this shape is, and let's attach these 2 inner buckles to it. Then this suction buckle sucks it on. Then a shape of the whole small bag comes out. This is me, things we use when making shoulder straps. Then we take out our short one first. And other things on our side. Let's put it aside. Measure our little piece of it 3 times as long. We can all not measure this. This is a very small section of line. Yeah, sure. Watch the video first. And then we cut the line. This one he sewed is incredibly short. Just put it on. Then fold it here. So let's make sure. Fold it again. Okay. We're going to sew this little piece on. The amount of wire used for this webbing has a higher density. So we can easily put the line. Thread the needle through. Wrap it here. Then we feel. I feel how big a gap I want with each stitch. Then put this needle here. Let's go round again. Just wrap the line round one side. Then sew again. Put all the lines on one side. Then disconnect. Suck it with our lighter. What's next? We're going to take out our little leather. Fold this in half. Then pass us a hook. Clip it in this position. Sew it up. Align quantity for this paragraph, and measure it for you first. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Just measure 1 times our height. Is it still a needle for us? 1 thread, 2 needles. Put a needle at each end of each thread. Fold it in half and hold our 2 needles. Align the 2 holes. Then pull our 2 needles at the same time. In this way, the upper and lower lines are evenly distributed. Pierce 2 holes at the same time. Pull the wire together. $123 to our side and count down 123. Put it down when there are 3 holes. We're going to go through the other line. When we thread the needle up and down, make sure the needle is vertical. Through our hole. We wear it to this position. We also sew to this position. Put our webbing in for him. This has to be vertical. It can't be tilted like this. Make sure it's vertical. We continue like this. Finish him our section. And I'm not going to show you that we can sew it ourselves. Then when sewing to this position, 3 stitches back, break our line. What's next? We put this hardware accessory. Sew to our longer webbing. Take out any end. Then pass it through. Everyone is optimistic about how to wear it. Go through this. And we put it down. That's how you trap it. Fold it again. This thread usage. Or do we just cut a piece of the line ourselves? I'll tell you how to wear this. Are they the same way they sew this? And we're all going to sew this up ourselves. After we sew this side, we use our long shoulder straps. This side is the end without sewing hardware. Go through this little piece of hardware we sewed short. And then, we mustn't let our webbing twist. Be sure to make it a smoother one. Put it through again. So we have one shoulder strap ready. Put the rest of our hook again. And this little leather. Same as sewing this position. Just sew it on the same way. We're done with this shoulder strap. And I'm not going to show you that. We can also sew it up by ourselves. And this is ours. An adjustment buckle for adjusting the length. So we can do it perfectly with just one webbing.